Welcome to Iraqi Dinar Newsline. We are tracking a significant development emerging from Iraq that has drawn the focus of economists, financial experts, and the general populace. A landmark event has occurred on Iraqi state television, a broadcast widely perceived as a crucial juncture in the nation's long-debated financial future. For the first time in recent history, government representatives have explicitly and publicly discussed the notion of recalibrating the national currency's value. This was not speculative chatter or an unconfirmed leak. It was a live, on-air conversation featuring advisors with direct ties to the Central Bank of Iraq and the Prime Minister's Economic Council. For longtime observers of the Iraqi dinar, this event signifies a moment that warrants serious scrutiny. We will analyze the specifics of the statements made, implications for Iraq's economy, as suggested by experts, and the reasons international monitors see this as a possible precursor to a major monetary shift. This narrative is being positioned not merely as a question of exchange rates, but as a broader story about Iraq's economic sovereignty, its domestic financial health, and its reintegration into the global economic order. The broadcast that sparked this wave of commentary aired this week on a major state-run network during a program dedicated to national economic issues. It was within this formal context that the dialogue took a surprising and direct turn, steering away from generalized topics and toward a subject of deep public and investor interest. The segment included a senior economic advisor invited to talk about the country's ongoing reform agenda. While such discussions typically remain high-level, covering areas like infrastructure investment, oil revenue, or inflation, this interview diverged markedly. The host asked a blunt and specific question. When would the Iraqi people experience a real, tangible improvement in the strength and purchasing power of their currency? The advisor's reply was distinguished by its precision and intentional language. He confirmed that the central bank's new strategy is aimed at rebalancing the national currency's value, elevating it to a level that mirrors Iraq's actual economic standing and financial realities. That particular phrase, though concise, has been interpreted as highly significant. It has since prompted extensive debate and analysis within global financial communities. For policy watchers and investors, this was not seen as a routine comment, but as a potential signal. The terminology rebalance the value of the national currency is not considered informal in central banking parlance. It strongly indicates an official view that the present exchange rate is outdated and no longer reflects the country's fundamental economic conditions. It suggests a consensus that the dinar's current valuation, largely a relic of previous wars, sanctions, and recovery programs, is misaligned with the nation's contemporary economic status. Presently, the Iraqi dinar's official exchange rate persists at a level many economists characterize as artificially suppressed, a carryover from a dramatically different economic period. However, Iraq's economic environment has transformed considerably in recent years. The country now possesses foreign currency reserves reported to be well over $100 billion, sustains robust oil export volumes, and is pursuing active diversification into sectors like technology, major construction projects, and renewable energy. In essence, the underpinnings of Iraq's economy are viewed as far more resilient than in prior decades. Consequently, the term rebalance is being read as a strong hint that the central bank may be laying the administrative groundwork for an adjustment to the dinar's valuation. This is exactly why the televised segment has been labeled a potential watershed moment by numerous analysts. The importance stems from the fact that this message was delivered not through back channels, anonymous leaks, or online speculation, but openly on a state-controlled medium, a platform that conveys official authority. In economic and monetary policy circles, such deliberate public communication is frequently viewed as a preparatory stage for substantive policy change. Before a country enacts a major alteration to its currency's value, a phase of public preparation and education almost always occurs. This stage is vital for fostering public trust and ensuring the citizenry comprehends and supports the transition. It is a widely held principle in finance that surprising a nation with a new exchange rate overnight risks severe economic disruption and social uncertainty. Any such shift must be implemented systematically and communicated with transparency. This television interview, in the assessment of many observers, seemed to be initiating that very process. It is being interpreted as the potential start of an effort to ready Iraqi citizens for a new chapter, one that could involve a more robust and stable national currency. This public messaging dovetails with a sequence of foundational measures the Central Bank of Iraq's CBI has been executing for some time, all part of a comprehensive financial modernization plan. Over recent months, the CBI has been actively rolling out a series of structural reforms intended to align Iraq's financial systems more closely with global norms. These are not minor adjustments. They're fundamental to updating the nation's economic framework. Key initiatives among these include the deployment of sophisticated electronic payment platforms, a major expansion of digital banking accessibility for the public, and new regulations to increase transparency in foreign currency dealings. These moves are considered essential for building a stable and trustworthy financial infrastructure capable of supporting a more advanced and globally connected economy. The central bank has also concentrated on integrating Iraq into worldwide financial networks, including deeper ties with systems like SWIFT and regional payment networks, which are critical for secure and efficient cross-border transactions. These actions are neither random nor isolated. Financial specialists note that these are the necessary building blocks for any nation preparing to make its currency more convertible and recognized on the international stage. Clear sequence seems to be unfolding, a pattern familiar in emerging economies. First, modernize the financial infrastructure. Second, stabilize the macroeconomic environment. And third, address the currency's valuation. This exact sequence appears to be what is currently in progress in Iraq. One particular detail that intrigued financial analysts was the issuance of a new 50 dinar banknote earlier this year. While the introduction of a new denomination might appear to be a simple administrative task, it is often regarded as a symbolic gesture in monetary policy. Countries typically find it more efficient to introduce smaller denomination notes when they expect their currency as value and purchasing power to increase. If the dinar were to appreciate, these smaller notes would become more practical for daily commerce. Economists and currency watchers interpret the 50 dinar note as an early, subtle indication of confidence from the central bank. It is seen as a preparatory measure for an economic environment where the currency's real value is more accurately represented both domestically and internationally. This step is viewed not merely as printing money, but as part of the groundwork for a potential comprehensive recalibration of Iraq's monetary system. Adding to this sense of momentum, reports from Baghdad indicate the Central Bank of Iraq is scheduled to hold a press conference in the near term. The anticipated purpose of this event is to clarify its new monetary framework. This forthcoming announcement has already attracted significant attention from financial news services and investment communities, as it could signify the official commencement of Iraq's public transition to a new currency system. What makes this period especially remarkable is the apparent harmonization of messaging. For months, commentators have detected a growing consistency between the public declarations of various government figures, the concrete reforms enacted by the central bank, and the analyses of international financial institutions. The persistent use of specific vocabulary terms like stability, modernization, and now rebalancing implies this is unlikely a set of unconnected incidents. Instead, it points toward a coordinated strategy. Coordination on this scale, involving multiple governmental and financial entities, typically comes before formal policy declarations, as it guarantees all parties are presenting a united front. Behind the scenes, Iraq has also been deeply involved with global financial institutions. This encompasses continuous discussions with international lenders, various monetary bodies, and regional banking alliances. Meetings with senior officials from the International Monetary Fund (IMF), the World Bank, and finance ministers from neighboring countries have been documented in recent weeks. For the Iraqi dinar to gain wider international acceptance and stability, the support and approval of such organizations is deemed critical. Currency's worth is not solely a domestic matter. It necessitates synchronization and recognition across numerous international financial systems. Recent comments from some of these international figures have commended Iraq's monetary progress, with certain officials even describing its reform agenda as a potential blueprint for regional stability. This type of positive feedback from major global financial institutions is not offered casually. It indicates a rising confidence that Iraq is progressing in a manner consistent with contemporary fiscal standards and international norms.